It's 6 p.m. now, Cairo local time. It's a very good evening to our viewers and welcome to our English news bulletin here on Channel 2. I'm Angie Mayer joining you. We begin with a look at the headlines. President Abdel-Fattah el-Sisi arrives home after a Gulf tour. Israeli airstrike hits a field hospital. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says it was not easy to agree with the U.S. on a peace deal. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now the details in full. President Abdel-Fattah el-Sisi arrived home after a Gulf tour as he visited Kuwait and held talks with the Gulf country's Emir, Sheikh Mishal Al-Ahmad Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, ending a Gulf tour that first took him to Qatar. We have the details.
President Abdel-Fattah el-Sisi left Kuwait on Tuesday following talks with the Gulf countries' Emir Sheikh Mishal Al-Ahmad Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, ending a Gulf tour that took him first to Qatar. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Mohammed Al-Shenawi said the bilateral talks followed an expanded meeting bringing together delegations from both sides. They then attended a banquet in honor of President el-Sisi. The spokesman said that during the meeting, the Kuwaiti Emir said the visit reflects the depth of ties and is a chance to continue with boosting ties in various fields, especially the economic and investment spheres. He said the Emir expressed appreciation to Egypt's historical and pivotal role in developing countries and in achieving regional stability. The spokesman added that President el-Sisi also expressed appreciation to historical ties with Kuwait and hailing the prosperity and development of the Gulf country under the reign of Emir Mishal Sabah. He expressed keenness on boosting ties with Kuwait, especially in the economic field, and increasing the volume of trade exchange and investments between the two countries to achieve the common interests of both sides. Ambassador Shenawi said the talks also touched on regional developments, especially the deteriorating situation in Gaza, adding that both sides stressed the need to reach an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the exchange of detainees, and allowing humanitarian aid into the territory in sufficient amounts immediately. He added that both sides also expressed full support to the Arab plan for the recovery and reconstruction of the Gaza Strip and for reaching ceasefire agreement soon. He reiterated the full rejection of both sides to the deportation of Palestinians from their lands and stressed the need to reach just and comprehensive settlement to the Palestinian cause through establishing the Palestinian state in line with the 1967 boundaries and with East Jerusalem as its capital. The spokesman added the meeting also tackled developments in Syria and Sudan, and that both sides stressed support for the unity and stability of both countries. He said they also expressed support for the internationally recognized Yemen government, stressing the importance of the security of navigation in the Red Sea and waterways in the region.
President Abdel-Fattah el-Sisi received at his residence in Kuwait the Gulf country's Crown Prince Sheikh Sabah Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Mubarak Al-Sabah on Tuesday. The presidential spokesperson Ambassador Mohammed Al-Shenawi said during the meeting Sheikh Al-Sabah welcomed President el-Sisi, praising Cairo's efforts in achieving stability in the region. He said he's keen the visit will contribute to boosting ties that reflect strong bilateral relations between the two countries. He further added al-Sisi expressed appreciation to the hospitality he received in the country, stressing that he's keen on boosting ties with Kuwait under the leadership of Emir Mishal Al-Ahmad Al-Jaber Al-Sabah in all fields, especially the economic and investment arenas. Sisi also praised Kuwaiti efforts to develop the economy in accordance with the 2035 vision, saying he hoped for an increase in volume of trade exchange. Here, the spokesperson said the meeting also tackled regional developments and efforts by Cairo to reinstate the Gaza ceasefire, which the Crown Prince hailed. Both sides reiterated strong rejection to the deportation of Palestinians from their land, stressing the importance of continuing with international efforts aimed at reviving Syria's political process in order to establish an independent Palestinian state within the boundaries of June 1967, with East Jerusalem as its capital. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi also received the first Deputy Prime Minister, who is also the Minister of Interior, Sheikh Fahd Yusuf Saud al-Sabbah. Presidential spokesperson Ambassador Mohammed al-Shinawi said Sheikh Fahd al-Sabbah described the visit as dear, expressing his appreciation to historic ties between the two countries. He also praised the role of the Egyptian community in Kuwait in boosting development in the Gulf country, which he said reflects strong ties between the two nations. Ambassador Shinawi said bilateral ties and boosting partnership between the two countries were the focus of the talks. In exclusive remarks to the Egyptian television on President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's visit to Kuwait, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration and Egyptian Expatriates Affairs, Badr Abdelati, said that the visit reflected the deeply rooted ties binding both countries, in addition to their desire to further promote them. Abdelati noted the visit gains a special momentum amid the current regional developments, having showed the two countries share similar ranks with regards to returning to a ceasefire deal in Gaza, pressuring the Israeli side to access larger amounts of humanitarian aid to the people, and launching reconstruction in the devastated Palestinian territory. A senior Hamas official said that the Palestinian movement will most likely respond to an Israeli ceasefire proposal it received through mediators within the next 48 hours. He added the movement is still conducting in-depth consultations within its leadership framework, as well as the resistance factions, in order to formulate a unified position. Meanwhile, an Israeli occupation airstrike hit the northern gate of a field hospital in the Gaza Strip on Tuesday, killing a medic and sprawling 10 camps. The wounded were all patients and medics, and 2 of the patients were in critical condition after the strike. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is deeply alarmed at the strike by Israeli forces on Al Ahli Arab Hospital in Gaza. UN spokesperson said Tuesday that Guterres added that under international humanitarian law, wounded and sick medical personnel and medical facilities, including hospitals, must be respected and protected. He said the attack dealt a severe blow to an already devastated healthcare system, adding there was strong concern that medical supplies were running low, as well as food and water. Hundreds of settlers broke into Al-Aqsa Mosque compound on Tuesday under heavy occupation police protection. Palestinian sources said 400 settlers stormed the compound in groups and conducted provocative tours around the premises, playing loud music on the 3rd day of the Jewish Passover. Occupation authorities also imposed restriction on worshippers trying to pray in the mosque and arrested a number of them. Lebanon's health ministry said an Israeli strike killed 1 person in the country's south on Tuesday, the latest such attack, despite a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. Health ministry said in a statement that the strike carried out by the Israeli enemy killed a person and wounded 3 others, including a child. Israel has continued to strike Lebanon since the November 27 ceasefire that largely halted more than a year of hostilities with Hamas. Meanwhile, the UN Human Rights Office voiced concern Tuesday about the protection of civilians in Lebanon, as Israeli military operations have continued to kill civilians there since a ceasefire in November. At least 71 civilians, including 14 women and 9 children, have been killed by Israeli forces in Lebanon since the ceasefire came into effect on the 27th of November last year, and 92,000 people are still displaced. Syria's new president arrived in Qatar on Tuesday, according to state media, for his first official visit to the Gulf state. The official Qatar news agency reported Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad al-Thani met Syria's interim president, Ahmed al-Shara, on his arrival at the international airport. Earlier, Syria's foreign minister posted that he was accompanying Shara on his first presidential visit to the country that stood by the Syrians from day one and never abandoned them. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, said he's neither overly nor optimistic nor pessimistic regarding nuclear talks with the U.S. in his first comment following the start of U.S.-Iran talks, which started April 12th in Oman. Both delegations described the talks as positive and have agreed to convene once more on April 19th, with Tehran saying the meeting will take place again in Muscat. The European Union and Britain pledged on Tuesday to increase aid for Sudan ahead of a conference in London marking the second anniversary of a conflict that has displaced millions of people and devastated the country. Britain said the conference aimed to improve the international response to the crisis, although Sudan's government criticized the gathering because no representative from either side of the conflict was invited. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that it was not easy to agree with the United States on key parts of a possible peace deal to end the war in Ukraine, and that Russia would never again allow itself to depend economically on the West. U.S. President Donald Trump, who says he wants to be remembered as a peacemaker, has repeatedly said he wants to end the bloodbath of the 3-year war in Ukraine, though a deal has yet to be agreed. And moving to some business news, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli asserted the government is doing its utmost efforts to guarantee energy supply needed for local consumption and support of the National Economic Development Plan in the field. Madbouli's comments came during an inspection tour in the city of Ros Ghrebretsi Governorate, during which he inspected a wind farm. The government's efforts come in light of boosting national plans to increase renewable energy and diversify its resources to cope with national development projects in partnership with the private sector, a vital partner in various projects. China will trade with more friends and become a stronger magnet for investment, the Foreign Ministry said on Tuesday. Facing external uncertainties, China will stay committed to joining hands rather than throwing punches. Lin Jian, a ministry spokesperson, told a regular press briefing when asked about the China International Consumer Products Expo being held in China's southern Hainan province this week. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up our English News Bulletin here on Channel 2. You're in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Thank you for watching.